I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this is Outside My Window. From 1935 to the mid-1960s, Wedgeport was once the sport tuna fishing capital of the world. It attracted fishermen and celebrities from around the world. The tournament stopped being held in 1976, and that was due to a lack of fish. The plentiful tuna waters off Wedgeport had stopped being home to hundreds of the giant bluefin. Since its revival in 2004, the Wedgeport Tuna Tournament and Festival has grown each year, always attracting more participants, more tuna, and of course more spectators at its various week-long events. Hundreds of volunteers and sponsors help each year in making the tournament possible. An event this size helps draw people to the village and brings the community together. Our guest today is Brandon Doucette. He's the president of the Wedgeport Tuna Tournament and Festival. Now, he started volunteering for the organization in 2011, was employed for 5 summers, and has been on the board of directors ever since. Brandon, welcome to the podcast.
Hi there.
It must feel really good for you and everyone to get back at it and have a tournament this year. You know, COVID put the kibosh to a lot of things. So when did you folks start organizing for this year's upcoming event?
So we usually have the first meetings in February and then kind of start from there. And the big organization starts more in the spring. So in like May and June.
So, as we mentioned in the introduction, Brandon used to be able to catch the bluefin, just off the coast of Wedgeport, and that changed. So, how far off do you have to go to that famous hellhole?
Yeah, so now we do have a few different fishing grounds. A lot of the boats go to the hellhole, and it's about a 12-hour steam. So about 12 hours to get there. And we do have some boats now that do fish a little bit closer. So some boats go to German Bank. It's about 3 hours away. And last year and this year for the last year was the first time. Some boats have started fishing in Barrington Bay, which would be a little bit closer, I think, than German Bank. But a lot of them go to the hellhole. So it's quite a ways. It's about 12 hours out.
For the uninitiated, like Quinn and I and perhaps many others, what is it like to go out and hook one of these bluefin? Give us an idea of that experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really it's an experience that you'll almost never have anywhere else. It can take hours to reel in the tuna. Sometimes they can be as small, not small, but let's say in the bluefin, maybe in the 200-pound range, but they can get as big as in the tournament. The record that we've had since its revival in 2004, the biggest one was 796 pounds, but the world record was 1,496 pounds. So they can really, the tuna can get huge. And it's really quite the action-packed to reel them in.
So let's take a step back, Brandon, into the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, at the heyday of the Wedgeport Tuna Festival and Tournament. When we say celebrities came for this tournament, there's a good list of celebrities that came for this tournament. And a lot of that is documented at the Tuna Museum. So let's give a plug for that as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess just to start off, in the Wedgeport Tuna Museum, there is a whole bunch of history there. So if people are listening and are interested in these things, I definitely recommend that they go to Wedgeport and go to the museum. There's all kinds of information there. As far as the celebrities go, this is one of my favorite parts, and I wasn't alive back then. I'm only 26, but I'm sure if I was, it would have been an incredible time to be around. Some of the names, Jean Béliveau, the hockey player, he came to fish. Franklin Roosevelt, so the American president, while he was president, he came to Wedgeport. Tony Hullman would have been another one. So he was the owner of the, I think it was the Indianapolis 500, the racetrack that race takes place at. Kate Smith, so she would have been a singer. She actually sang "God Bless America" in Wedgeport off the tuna wharf when the boats were going fishing. There's all kinds of famous people that came.
That must have been quite the sight.
I'm sure. Yep.
So now today, in how things are going, let's just go back just for a second, where people are heading out to a place called the Hell Hole. I can only imagine why they call it that, but what's the official story for why they call it that?
So I think what it is I think the weather can get quite bad. We have been lucky. So this is the 18th year that we're going to be having the tuna tournament. And for the most part, throughout the 18 years, the weather has cooperated. Hopefully I'm not jinxing us for this year. But there has been a couple times that we've watched that maybe there were hurricanes coming in, but it's never had a huge impact on our fishing. But it's something we definitely watch closely. But in the hellhole, there's all kinds of sea life. So there's obviously our boats are fishing for tuna, but there's swordfish. There's all kinds of different fish around. I used to go. I had gone fishing 3 years. It's been about 10 years now since I've been. But really, it was incredible to see.
So for those of us who are not fishermen, that would be Gary and I, how do you target a specific breed of fish? I mean, if you're going out and you're targeting bluefins, how do you prevent, say, a swordfish from latching on or a different species of animal?
Yeah, so there are specific lures and hooks to try to attract the tuna. So for our tournament, it's all rod and reel fishing. And there's really two ways that they try to attract the tuna. There's one that we call we call it drailing. So basically, the boats are steaming ahead, and they're dragging lures, what we call squid trees. So it's kind of it has a whole bunch of squids, kind of in a triangle, and there's one hook way at the end. So they're dragging that on top of the water, and then the tuna, they see it, and they go and they think it's food, and then they hook on. Another way that they fish, it's what we call chumming. So basically the boat is stopped, and they're throwing a herring and bait fish in the water. And one of them, or there's usually a couple, with hooks on them. So if they bite the right one, they're biting the hook. So those are really the two main ways that they're fishing, but it's all on rod and reels. So they're all it can take a while to haul them in.
You guys harvest more than just bluefin, like there's yellowfin or and other species that go along with this as part of the tournament, is it not?
Yes, so there are incidental catches. So the main all the boats are fishing for bluefin, but they do sometimes catch different species of tuna, and they're allowed to keep them. So we also catch big eye tuna, albacore, and yellowfin. So the big eye are similar to the bluefin, but they're smaller, usually maybe 150 pounds or 200 pounds. And the albacore are much smaller, maybe in the 20 to 40 or 50 pound range. And the yellowfin are a little bit in between.
So when you calculate the total weight caught, is it all of the species together, or does it just go by the bluefin?
So we have different prizes. The main prize, it's the biggest bluefin, the heaviest bluefin. But we do also give prizes, give a prize like for the most overall weight. So everything that's caught, we weigh it all, and everything sold for food. So it's all sold on the commercial market, the same thing as the commercial fishermen.
How are the quotas determined, Brandon, and what role does the Southwest Tuna Association play in all of that?
Yes, so we are very fortunate. Um, so I guess first of all the tuna that are caught during the tuna tournament, it's all caught within the bluefin quota, within the quota that's set by DFO. So we've been very lucky throughout the years, and each year, like you mentioned, the Southwest Nova Tuna Association, they've donated quota to us for each year. This is going to be the 18th year. There's 32 members in that association, so 32 commercial fishermen that own tuna quota, bluefin tuna quota, and they each donate 100 pounds. On top of that, we've been very, very lucky, and two of the members within the association, they donate even more quota above and beyond the 3,200 pounds. So in total, the past 3 or 4 years, we've had a total of 6,700 pounds of bluefin tuna quota that was donated. So it's really because of their generous donations that we're able to have this great event. It's something that really helps out the community, and it's the main fundraiser for the Wedgeport Tuna Museum. So it lets us keep reliving the history and celebrating what's been a great event, not continuous, but for almost 100 years.
So once the tuna are landed, what happens to the fish after that?
Yeah, so all the tuna that are landed, it's all sold on the commercial market. So we sell it on consignment. So everything that's caught, eventually it's gonna end up on somebody's plate. Most of the tuna goes to Japan, and I think there might also be some that go to the U.S., but it's all sold on the commercial market, just like the tuna that's caught by the commercial fishermen. So there's nothing wasted. It's all sold, just like the other tuna.
So because you're using quota that's donated, this recent DFO decision that might actually put the end to the shark tournament isn't going to affect you.
We hope not. We haven't had anybody reach out to us to say that it would cause a problem for us. And this year we renewed our license just like every other year. So we're very hopeful, and we believe it shouldn't have an impact on us.
That'd be great. Yeah. The other thing is that it's not just the tuna part that's the festival. You've got a bunch of other events that are going on. So why don't you walk us through some of the dates and some of the things that are going to happen, Brandon? We're going to air this ahead of the start of your festival itself so that people listening in will be able to realize where and what's going on.
Yes, for sure. So we do organize a whole big festival around the tuna tournament. This year, the date, so it's August 20th to 27th. And we have really a whole bunch of fun activities taking place. The first day, so Saturday, August 20th, for the first time, we're going to try organizing a community yard sale. So we're inviting really anybody throughout Wedgeport to set up yard sales on their lawn. And really, if people want to come from outside of Wedgeport, they're more than welcome to come down, set up. We do have some tables and chairs at the Wedgeport Tuna Museum. So if people need to borrow a couple chairs or a couple tables and want to set up, they can definitely do that.
Everybody loves a good yard sale, though.
Absolutely, for sure. And so that's going to be on Saturday, August 20th, in the morning. So we're thinking it probably will start around 9 a.m. Then on the Sunday, we have a tuna fun run. So I think this is the 10th year that we've been organizing the fun run. And it's really, people can either do a 5K run or a 10K run, and it's just for fun. So we always have some people that are walking it. If people don't want to run the whole thing, they're welcome to walk, or if they want to do a mix of both, they can also do that. And with that, we always want to try to incorporate the kids as much as we can. So children's ages 12 and under participate for free, and over 12, it's just $20, and you get a free T-shirt, and it's a great time. And also we do have events for the kids on that Sunday too, the 21st. So after the run for the adults and kids, if they want to run either 5K or 10K, after that we do have what we call a tiny tuna run. So that's more for the younger kids. We say ages 12 and under, but really anybody can do it. And that's just a short distance. So it's about 600 meters. But if some kids if that's too far for them to run, they can do shorter distances as well, and that's free. And then later in the afternoon, we have more of we call it, this year the theme is ice cream, but it's kind of like a children's party. So we have different activities and crafts and snacks that they can do in the afternoon. Then on Monday, so August 22nd, again, we have another event for the kids. So we're organizing kind of a water day at the park in Wedgeport. And that's in partnership with the school, so with École Wedgeport. And there we usually have like slip and slides and different water activities. And that will be free. So kids ages 2 to 12 can come that day and play outside. And then that night we have stuff more for the adults. So we have our official opening ceremony that Monday night. So it's a wine and cheese that takes place at the Wedgeport Tuna Museum. And we're going to have live entertainment there. We have the pageant princesses, the participants in the tuna pageant, that will be walking around mingling with everybody. And that's always a good time. And then that night after, when it starts getting dark, we have fireworks. So that will be taking place at the Wedgeport Tuna Museum. Other than that, so throughout the week, after that, we start off the official start of the fishing tournament begins. So that Tuesday night, August 23rd, that's when we have the send-off. So all the boats, we have 16 boats that are going to be departing for the fishing grounds. And that, they leave from the Wedgeport Breakwater Wharf, and they're setting off really for fishing until they have until the Saturday morning to come in.
So what time are they being sent out, like in case people want to come down and watch that?
Yes, for sure. So at 7 p.m., they'll be leaving the wharf. Usually people start arriving earlier than that. So if you're interested kind of to see what the fishermen are doing to prepare, they're there all day, all that Tuesday, August 23rd, gearing up their boats and icing up and baiting up. So if people are interested, the fishermen are always willing to talk and things like that. And then even that night, usually the family and the public starts arriving before 7 o'clock. So that's free. It's just at the Breakwater Wharf. And then officially they leave at 7 p.m.
Gotcha. And how long are they out before they come back?
They have to be back in by the Saturday morning at 8 a.m.
Okay.
So they're leaving Tuesday night. And the latest they can come back is Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Once they catch their bluefin, so if they catch a bluefin, let's say on the Wednesday, they'll be coming in, they have to come in, and we'll be weighing in tuna each night.
Okay.
So that's something that we're doing new this year. We did try it last year. Because of COVID, we couldn't have all the spectators. But this is the first year that we're doing it with all the spectators. We're going to be weighing in the tuna each night.
Okay.
So we'll be having a weigh-in the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night at 6 p.m. And then the remaining boats will be weighed in Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So it's going to spread things out a little bit more. And then, as I mentioned earlier, that all the tuna are sold for food. So it's all sold on the commercial market. And the sooner we can get it shipped out, the better it is for the quality of the fish.
So, Brandon, I'm sure that as part of the process, you're gathering some science for DFO. How does that work?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we're always excited about is that DFO Science. So their science team that work with the bluefin tuna, they actually attend our tournament each year. So all the tuna that are caught, DFO Science is taking samples. They're taking, it's the ear bone of the tuna, and with that, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't know exactly what they do with it, but they're able to determine where the tuna where they're spawning, where they were born. And so with that, and I'm sure they get more data and more science out of it too. But with that, they're able to kind of track the spawning grounds of the bluefin, and it's something they're always excited to come down, and we're always excited to have them. And at the Wedgeport Tuna Museum, we do have some data and some information, some documents that we've got from DFO Science that kind of explain what they do, and that kind of explains some of the data and some of the science that they've got with the help of us with the Wedgeport Tuna Tournament.
And not to mix apples and oranges, but when we talked with Bob Gavel about the shark tournament, they were talking about tagging and potential if they catch sharks that have tags. Is it a similar program with the tuna?
So yes, so the commercial fishermen they work with the Large Pelagics Research Center, and I believe they're out of there are some scientists out of the University of Massachusetts. So they have a tagging program that they tag the tuna, and they're able to track exactly where they go during, I think it's usually for a year that the tags stay on the tuna. So there is a lot of science that goes on around bluefin tuna.
And what happens with all of that data? I mean, obviously DFO is going to collect it, they'll analyze it, they'll use that to help them generate what the quotas are going to be, or the health of the stock. Like what did they use it for? Have they said?
I think it's a mixture of both. So both to make sure that the tuna stocks are still healthy. I'm sure they also use them for to help determine the quotas. But one big thing is the spawning grounds. So I think there used to be 2 spawning grounds in the Atlantic that they knew about, and recently they've been working that there might be possibly more spawning grounds. So with that, all the data they're collecting, it's to try to figure all that out.
Now, after you get the final weigh-in on Saturday, you're going to announce the awards and stuff like right there, right?
Yes. So we have the closing ceremonies that takes place on Saturday at 1:00. So that's going to be in the tent behind the Wedgeport Tuna Museum, and that's when we go over kind of the weights. We go over what was the tuna that were caught during the year, and we give out the different prizes that we have.
And then you have a party.
Exactly. Yep. That Saturday night, we have a big beer garden and live entertainment, and that we actually sold out of tickets. They went on sale last Tuesday, and we sold out within a day. But sometimes there are people that can't make it. So if somebody's still interested in going, we have a Facebook page. They can always post on there, and if somebody has an extra ticket or change of plans, they can definitely look there and maybe buy it if somebody has an extra ticket.
One of the things that that dawns on us is that, for the last couple of years, we haven't done anything. And so I know a lot of people are just itching to get out of the house. And so it doesn't surprise me that you sold out that quick, but everybody loves a good kitchen party.
Absolutely, yes. And even if you end up missing out of that Saturday night, we do have live entertainment and what we call a seafood extravaganza on the Friday and the Saturday. So the Friday, August 26th, we have the food and live entertainment starting in the tent at 4 p.m. And then the next day, Saturday, August 27th, we have everything starting up again at 11 a.m. So even if people miss out on the dance the Saturday night, there is still plenty of activities going on the Friday and Saturday, and those things are free to attend. So if you just want to come out and listen to music, you're welcome to come. And we have obviously if people want to eat food, that's for sale. But we do call it a seafood extravaganza. But if some people don't like seafood, we have chicken rapi pie, hot dogs, hamburgers. We have really food for everybody.
It always tastes better when somebody else cooks it.
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds like you got a pretty good, pretty full plate, pardon the pun, of entertainment and everything else kind of laid in. But if somebody wasn't, taking good notes while you were talking, it's all up on your website, right?
It is, yes. So our website, it's wedgeporttuna.ca. And we put a lot of stuff on our Facebook page. So our Facebook page, it's Wedgeport Tuna Tournament and Festival. So between those two things, we have the full schedule, and we always post updates.
So obviously, an event like this can happen without volunteers and sponsors. Talk about those folks, if you would, Brandon.
Absolutely. So this is something that like you said, it wouldn't be able to happen without the dedication of all our volunteers and our sponsors. From the volunteer side, and this year I don't know the exact count. Probably we'll only know that after, but usually we have anywhere from 150 to 200 volunteers during the week, and also in the weeks and months leading up to the event. It really takes it's a whole community activity, and it's not just people from Wedgeport. We have people from all over, even sometimes visitors from away that are coming down to visit family that volunteer their time to help make our event a success. And from the sponsor side of things too, I mentioned earlier the quota that's donated. So that's a huge donation that really, without that, we wouldn't be able to have the event. But we also have countless other sponsors. It's impossible to name them all on here. However, we do have on our website, we do have a sponsor page. This year we're still working on updating it for this year's sponsors, so it might still include mostly last year's sponsors. But between now and the event, we'll definitely be getting that up to date. And we estimate it's amazing the amount of contributions we get. Most of the sponsors, it's in kind donations and in kind sponsorships, but in total we estimate the value of the donations and of the sponsors to be over $100,000. So it's really it's a huge contribution that the community is doing, both in time, the volunteers, and in monetary donations that the businesses are helping us with.
The fact that you have so many dedicated volunteers and sponsors, it really reflects of the importance to the community of the Wedgeport Tuna Festival.
Absolutely, yes, it's incredible.
So when will you start planning for next year's? I mean, obviously we don't want to jinx it, but I'm sure you'll sleep for a couple of days, and then at what point are you going to start looking at what are you going to do for next time around?
Yeah, for sure. So the first step we usually do is in the fall, we'll have at least one meeting, sometimes two, kind of to go over what went right, what didn't work. So we always have a whole bunch of feedback, which is great. We like hearing from people, both on the things that went well and what didn't go good, because then that's how we learn and improve for future years. So that's usually done in the fall, and then we start up again, really getting serious and thinking about next year. We usually start in the winter, so in February or so. But there's some things like we apply for grants and apply for things like that, all throughout the late fall and throughout the winter.
So again, if anybody wants to find out more about the festival and the tournament, where's the best place for them to go?
Yeah, so either our website, which is wedgeporttuna.ca, or our Facebook page, which is Wedgeport Tuna Tournament and Festival.
Brandon, we wish you and all of the volunteers, everyone, the fishermen, very successful 2022 Wedgeport Tuna Tournament and Festival. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm Gary Nickerson.
And I'm Quinn Taggart.
And this has been Outside My Window.